Hello everybody! When people move to Silicon Valley, sometimes the first thing that they want to do is to connect to the internet, and suddenly they can realize that the internet in Silicon Valley sucks. So why is it happening? Why is it expensive and so slow? Let me tell you about this. Let's start from wired connection to the internet. To do that, you need to use cables, and you need to put the cables under the ground. But almost all the ground, all the land in America belongs to people, and it's a private property, and you need a special permission for that. For the same reason, it's so complicated to build a wall between the USA and Mexico, because the border is also someone's private property. Or if you want to dig tunnels under the ground, as Elon Musk do, you also need to get lots of permissions, so it's complicated. In Silicon Valley, many companies want to get into this business. For example, Google has the project which is called Google Fiber, and they use fiber cables to deliver the internet. But there is no this possibility in Silicon Valley, again because Google can't get all the needed permissions. They have several regions with this project available though, but not here. There are a few other companies here who deliver the internet. For example, at&t. Historically, they were configuring all phone lines in the country, and now they're using these lines to deliver the internet. You can find their logo even on manholes and in many other places. In my case, when I moved to Silicon Valley, I decided to use the internet from a company which is called Xfinity. And they have many discounts usually for you for first year, and it would cost you about $40 per month, which was in my case, but it depends on the place. The speed will be okay, but after 12 months you need to pay much more. You can get a better speed for that and TV channels and some other features, but what if you don't want it? You don't have another way, because they don't have cheaper plans. That's why I decided to switch to some other internet provider. With Xfinity I was using a coax cable, but then I realized that I have phone line in my apartments, and I called the other company which is called Sonic, and they configured the equipment, but I found that the speed is very slow. It was only few megabits. When I asked a technician why is it happening, and he analyzed the thing, he said that it's because the building is very old and my wires need to be replaced. But the landlord doesn't want to spend money on it. After that, I decided to switch to mobile internet, and you have much more possibilities here. For example, again, Google has a project which is called Google Fi, and if you're using this plan and your phone supports it, your phone is able to switch between different phone providers for better quality of connectivity. For example, T-Mobile, Sprint, US Cellular, or some Wi-Fi spots. And you need to pay $10 for each gigabyte of traffic, but only for first 6 gigabytes per month. Then you can use the internet without any additional money, unless you spend more than 15 gigabytes. After that, the speed will reduce significantly. But still, it could be an option if you travel a lot, because this plan is supported in more than 170 countries, such as Mexico, Canada, and some other. So it might be a good option for you if you don't need a lot of traffic. And sometimes I'm using mobile internet, but not Google Fi, because my phone doesn't support it. I'm using T-Mobile, and I also have 6 gigabytes of traffic, which is included in my monthly price. Many people live in rural area, because America is a big country. Even in Silicon Valley, many people prefer to live somewhere in rural area, and sometimes in this place you don't have good mobile connection. I'm not telling you about wired connection to the internet, so they could use satellite internet. It works like this way. You have a dish which connects to the dish on a satellite, and then the signal goes to a dish on the provider side. and then back. So as you see, it's slow and it's expensive. You will get a few megabits per second, megabits per second, and the price will be about $100 per month. Also, some weather can affect the signal or some obstacles, obstructions. And if you are a gamer and you need lots of traffic, you cannot use this option. What I found is that in America, in Silicon Valley specifically, there are many Wi-Fi spots, and some of them require authentication and some of them are not. And you could use this possibility. For example, when I moved to America, first night I decided to go to the store and I got lost on my way. And I didn't have a map or anything, and there were no people on the street, which is typical for this place at night. What I did is I tried to connect to some public Wi-Fi, and finally I was able to do that and find my way. But you can connect to Wi-Fi spots nearby. For example, if you have Xfinity account. If you have Xfinity account, you could register several users, and with these usernames you can connect to Xfinity using any public, any Xfinity modem. When you configure Xfinity connectivity, the part of the bandwidth in your modem is reserved for public usage. It means that anyone who has Xfinity account can connect to your modem and use the internet separately. What I'm actually do, one of my friends shared his Xfinity account with me, and I'm connecting to Wi-Fi of my neighbors, and the speed is good, signal is good. In my case, the problem is that several times per year the Wi-Fi signal disappears. Maybe my neighbors go for vacation or just disable modem for some reason. And in this case, I just switch to one of my mobile internet, where I have several spare gigabytes, which is enough for me while I'm waiting for Wi-Fi to be back. In my case, it works because I don't need lots of traffic, and if you are using 40-60 gigabytes per month is okay, but if you need more, for example 400 or 600, it could be again a problem for you. But still, it's a good option if you have a friend who could share the account with you. So as I see, it could be a really problem here to connect to the internet. One of my friends lived in rural area, and it was in the forest on the hill, and he didn't get even a phone signal. He tried to switch to different phone providers. He ordered satellite equipment. He even wanted to make an agreement with his neighbors to put a cable under the ground to connect to the internet, which is also expensive because you need to spend about several $1,000 for every 100 meters of cable. When I met him recently, he said that he is moving. And I asked, like, how will you be selecting the place where you want to live? And I expected him that he will tell me something about a good school or good neighborhood, but he said that he just needs to find a place where he could connect to the internet. I hope this video will help you if you decide to move to Silicon Valley, and you will be prepared to connect to the internet here. Thank you and bye.